Coming up this morning, find out which TV superstar is acting in a movie again.
And also see how preschool children gather for a peaceful celebration. Stay tuned. This is Insight News. Good morning and welcome to Insight News. I'm Kathy Brower.
And I'm BreAnna Boyd. Thank you for joining us. Hollywood's highest paid woman is returning to the big screen. Oprah Winfrey will star in Lee Daniels' The Bullet, alongside Forest Whitaker and an all-star cast including Mariah Carey, Lenny Kravitz, and Robin Williams, to name a few. The film is about the experiences of a bullet named Eugene Holland, who had worked for 8 presidents over the years of 30-year career. Oprah will play the Bullet's wife. This will be the first time since 1998 that Oprah has been in a film. Lee Daniels also produced the award-winning film Precious in 2009.
One of the many hot topics in the 2012 presidential election campaign was voter suppression. Some people were turned away at the polls or denied their right to vote, and they are not tight-lipped about the matter. Insight News reporter Jessica Chavers has the story.
Harbaugh, elections are always about getting your voters out to the polls to vote for your candidate, but Republican-controlled legislatures across the country and the states from coast to coast are pushing efforts now to rewrite election laws themselves in order to restrict access to the voting booth.
In 2011, the House Committee of Elections passed a new bill that is being called Voter Suppression Act of 2011. This bill requires that all voters must present a government-issued ID before casting their ballots. 41 states introduced the new law, which Democrats are saying is targeted towards minorities, elders, and college students. I'm Jessica Chavers here at the University of Memphis Journalism Department, where I'm about to sit down with one of our very own Insight News reporters, Kristin Rodgers, to discuss her incident with voter suppression. She was told that she couldn't vote in this election, and I'm about to find out why. Kristin Rodgers is a senior journalism student at the U of M who was told by an election official that
she told me that as long as I went to early vote, that would put me back active in the system. So I assumed by her telling me that, because she worked for the commission's office, that I would be able to vote, and I still couldn't vote.
Rodgers said that she had high hopes in voting in this election, and she discussed the personal toll it took on her.
Honestly, I cried when the woman at the first place told me that I couldn't vote, because it's just that important to me.
She said that she would continue to remain positive and that she reapplied for her voter registration card to avoid any more mishaps. Several Republican officials were not available for comment, but local Democrat City Councilman Edmund Ford Jr. spoke on the topic.
Thanks.
I know that there will be those 1 or 2 or 3 individuals, but don't punish the tens of millions of individuals who are upright citizens, upstanding citizens, and don't deny them the opportunity to vote.
Whether Democrat or Republican, this is America, which was founded on the belief that all men are created equal. Jessica Chavers, Midtown, Insight News.
With 64 electoral votes away towards winning the presidential election, former Massachusetts Governor Mitt Romney still plans to fire back at re-elected President Barack Obama through ad campaigns. One of the campaigns will include engaging minorities, women, and young voters under 30 by using social media. Romney plans to gear toward the states he lost in, such as Pennsylvania, Ohio, and a few others. In promoting a more detailed strategy of his 5-point plan, he hopes to reach out to those who voted for President Obama in the future.
What was once a diverse luncheon for families and children at a daycare has transformed to a more meaningful celebration. Insight News reporter Dana Porter has the story.
Children at the Barbara K. Littman Early Childhood School and Research Institute are engaged to learn about diversity in the way the world works around them. Director of Littman School at the University of Memphis, Sandra Turner, reinvented a previous celebration held every year after September 11th.
I am standing in the hallway of the Barbara K. Littman Early Childhood School and Research Institute, where 5 classrooms of preschoolers ages 2 through 5 learn about bringing peace into the world during their annual celebration of Peace Day.
Peace Day was chosen around the birthday of Barbara K. Littman and on United Nations Day, when children learn about what it means to enjoy each other's company and friendship. Turner said the best way to counteract the ugliness, terrorism, and awfulness of 9/11 is to create peace.
Peace Day grew out of a notion of anti-bias curriculum that we have here at the school, of helping children learn to be a person within the context of other human beings. And so we've always had a multicultural luncheon because we've always had a lot of cultures represented here.
Highlights of the event included a performance by students from the University of Memphis's theater department. President of U of M, Shirley Raines, released 24 white doves, and an expression activity created by the preschoolers were prepared in their classrooms.
So that was a Polish story that all Polish kids know about the dragon from the Krakow, and I think everybody enjoyed it. So I decided to present that story because it's very popular in Poland.
Different cultures represented Peace Day in the children and their families. The way each family expressed their culture was by bringing a dish to share for the multicultural peacenik that summoned the event. This is Dana Porter reporting from the University of Memphis Insight News.
For information on how to volunteer at Littman School, call Sandra Turner at 901-678-2120. When we come back, a campus organization gives tips to men and women about domestic violence in relationships.
And the aftermath of a Memphis woman killed by her husband.
Did you know kids who play outdoors have healthier lungs?
Totally.
Did you know that boys that play with dolls make better husbands?
My son has lots of dolls. But did you know terry cloth diapers breathe better?
I did.
It's totally true.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys know statistically friendly kids have more friends?
Yeah.
That's obvious.
Did you know most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right seat. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to make sure your child is protected.
A full life, measured in seats, starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are the #1 killer of children 1 through 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.
A single ember that escapes from a wildfire can travel more than a mile. That single ember can ignite and destroy your home or even your community. You can't control where the ember will land, only what happens when it does. Get Fire Adapted now at fireadapted.org.
A new survey says domestic violence is on the rise due to the economy. Statistics show between 600,000 and 6 million women are victims of domestic violence each year. The University of Memphis did its past last month to help curb domestic abuse with seminars and workshops. The campus's adult and community services brought in domestic violence survivor Elizabeth Shelley. Shelley stayed married to her abuser for 2 decades.
It was almost time for
when
them
children
to
were
be leaving
preparing
home,
for
and I
college.
was scared to death to be left alone with my husband because I was afraid he'd kill me and nobody would know.
Shelley said if you are in a violent relationship and trying to get out, set up a plan. Have an idea of where you are going to go, whether it's a shelter or a relative's home.
Confession of a killer. A court document shows Terrence Thomas confessed to killing his wife, Karen Thomas, but there's another document from his past. Terrence Thomas is charged with killing his wife in their home, but he was already on diversion for child abuse. Diversion is a special type of probation for first-time offenders, but he also had another accusation for abusing his late wife along with beating his niece in 2010.
It's different in that a body was disposed of. That happens in probably 10% of the cases that we have. It's just an unusual fact. Oftentimes, the victim is left wherever the homicide occurred.
Thomas has hired attorney Gerald Skane to represent him in the murder charge. Thomas is currently held without bond. His next court date is scheduled for November 19th. When we come back, find out how a national event can help smokers put the pack down.
Did you know kids who play outdoors?
For Thanksgiving, we all want a hot
Did you know that boys that play with dolls make better husbands?
My son has lots of dolls. But did you know terry cloth diapers breathe better?
I did.
It's totally true.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys know statistically friendly kids have more friends?
Yeah.
That's obvious.
Did you know most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right seat. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to make sure your child is protected.
A full life, measured in seats, starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are the #1 killer of children 1 through 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.
For Thanksgiving, we all want a hot turkey on the table, but if you want to go cold turkey, you can quit smoking on November 15th. Insight's Kelsey Simeon has the story.
The American Cancer Association wants to help Americans put down the cigarettes. The Great American Smokeout will be held this year on November 15th. The whole idea of the day is to get Americans to stop smoking for a day or to quit altogether. This is the 37th Great American Smokeout Day hosted by the Great American Cancer Society, yet 45 million Americans still smoke. More than half of those smokers have attempted to quit, and Chris Whitten, being one of them, says he's attempted several times over the past few years. At age 16, Whitten started smoking because he said it allowed him to take more breaks at work. Eventually, he formed a habit, and now he thinks of himself as more of a social smoker. Back in February, he had to put down the habit, but he picked it back up shortly after getting an internship. The stress from being a managing editor for the Daily Helmsman is one reason why Whitten has such a hard time quitting.
But a lot of the times, you know, I find myself in the newsroom, like, hey, I need a break. Come on down, let's go smoke a cigarette together. And we sit there with the smoking ban going on. It's a lot harder to find a place to smoke, but I choose the back patio behind the Beeman Journalism Building.
His friends and family are his biggest supporters and try to encourage him to quit smoking. One of his co-workers says she tries to give him a hard time about his habit.
We'd go out and he would buy a pack of cigarettes, so we would always tell him, no, you shouldn't be buying that.
Whitten's grandfather recently became ill due to 55 years of smoking, which is why this smokeout day, Chris Whitten is making an effort to quit. Kelsey Simeon, University of Memphis, Insight News.
For more information on that, you can visit www.cancer.org.
Well, that is it for today.
Thank you for watching.
All right, so are you excited for Thanksgiving?
I am. What about you?
I am. My favorite side dish is sweet potato casserole. That's good. I'm actually going to have it this weekend to celebrate family. We're doing a little early. Coming up, St. Jude celebrates a milestone.
And also, the athletic department at the University of Memphis gives back.
Good morning and welcome to Insight News. I'm Kathy Brower.
And I'm Jessica Chavers. Thank you for joining us.
St. Jude hosted its 14th annual Survivors Day conference with a panel of experts and childhood cancer survivors. The panels came together to discuss the future of cancer research and how cancer patients can deal with illness in their life. Insight News' Jessica Chavers has a story.
The 14th annual Survivors Day conference was hosted at St. Jude. It was a homecoming for the people who find the cures and the ones saved by them. The event included a panel of experts who came to discuss cancer and its research that has developed over the years. Dr. Leslie Robinson is the leading research expert at St. Jude. He commented on how important the conference is.
Remarkably important. It's important on a number of levels. First of all, it's the community. You know, St. Jude brings in patients from all over the country. And once a patient is here and treated and is cured of their cancer, they go back to their communities, but they still have that link, that bond, and frankly a need to be able to come back to where they were treated and to see the physicians and the healthcare providers that made such an important impact on their life.
Along with the experts, there was a panel of childhood survivors from all walks of life who were brought together by St. Jude. Among the survivors was Dwight Tosh, who was the 17th patient to enter St. Jude when its doors opened in 1962. Tosh commented on how it felt to walk back through the doors of St. Jude after 50 years.
I know I was telling somebody the other day, I said, just the fact that I get to come back here, and if somebody had told me, 50 years ago that I would be back here on the stage, talking about being a survivor, I mean, it seemed like something that was at that time would probably not happen, it'd be impossible. And to actually be able to do that and to know that my dreams and all have, actually I've been able to live them. And it's because, Danny Thomas fulfilled his dream to make sure that St. Jude got built and made it, gave hope to families when seemed no hope existed.
I'm Jessica Chavers here at St. Jude, where the 14th annual Survivors Day conference was held, with the people who find the cures and the children who were saved by them came together to give insight and hope to each other. The event included award-winning lead singer of the band Alabama, Randy Owen, a fellow cancer survivor. The conference live chatted with an online audience who asked questions directed towards the panel. If these walls could talk, they would say that the dream Danny Thomas started 50 years ago is still living by its motto, finding cures and saving children. Jessica Chavers, downtown Memphis, Insight News. Re-elected President Barack Obama plans for a recovering future. As millions watched the president receive winning victory on Tuesday night, viewers also waited to hear what is next for America. On live television, Obama assured Americans that the decade of war is ending. He plans to partner with his former challenger, Mitt Romney, by coming up with a plan to help the U.S. move forward. The president promised to provide more jobs to start reducing their struggling economy, creating a future for children, fixing their immigration system, and reforming the tax code.
Athletes at the University of Memphis are making a name for themselves off the field and in the community. Memphis Tiger Paws has collected over 10,000 books to donate to 7 Memphis City schools. Paws, or preparing athletes for winning success, is making a difference by emphasizing education.
Out of it, and they grow as people, and it's something that they really enjoy doing, and it's a good thing to see that from an outsider standpoint, to look at the interaction between the young kids and the student athletes.
Although the goal of 10,000 books has been reached, U of M athletes plan to continue collecting for more schools. Tiger Paws began receiving books at the Tiger football team's season opener in early September. For more information, log on to GoTigersGo.com. When we come back, see how a Memphis neighborhood is getting a spruce from local artists.
Did you know kids who play outdoors have healthier lungs?
Totally.
Did you know that boys that play with dolls make better husbands?
My son has lots of dolls. But did you know terry cloth diapers breathe better?
I did.
It's totally true.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Did you guys know statistically friendly kids have more friends?
Yeah.
That's obvious.
Did you know most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right seat. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to make sure your child is protected.
A full life, measured in seats, starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are the #1 killer of children 1 through 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.
A single ember that escapes from a wildfire can travel more than a mile. That single ember can ignite and destroy your home or even your community. You can't control where the ember will land, only what happens when it does. Get Fire Adapted now at fireadapted.org.
The University of Memphis Pom Squad is gearing up to defend their national title. Last January, the girls captured their 14th victory at the College Cheer and Dance Team National Competition. They prepared for months on the end for the competition alone, with performing at all home sports events.
This year is the biggest team that we've ever had. We have a group of 25 girls. My previous years we've only had about 13 to 17, so this is definitely the biggest year. There are a lot of new girls, freshmen, that are excited to be on the team but need to, learn how we do things and everything.
Prior to leaving, they will debate their routines to family, friends, and the student body in what is called a show night.
The weather may be getting chilly here in Memphis, but if you're visiting one neighborhood, you may enjoy a warm and vibrant feel. Thanks to the work of local artists Jeff Unthank and Molly Riggs, the two are a part of the Philadelphia Mural Arts Program. They are responsible for the vibrant murals on James Road at Scenic Highway at the Fraser community. The program also teamed with Rhodes College mural painting class to dig deep into the community's history to produce various eye-catching artwork. The final project will be 100 panel murals that will be installed on James Road later in 2012.
It is official. Nike is just doing it. Nike is expanding in Memphis. The athletic mega company recently announced plans for a $301 million expansion of its Fraser facility. The plan is to add 250 local jobs to the Northridge facility on North Fraser Boulevard in North Memphis. It will also add 1.8 million square feet to the existing operation on Winchester Road in Southeast Memphis. Nike also plans to give the Winchester facility a $25 million renovation. Until work is completed at Northridge, after the expansion and renovation, Nike will end their lease in Southeast Memphis and integrate all jobs into the Fraser location. When we come back, Bartlett residents are faced with the possibility of a new business opening in their neighborhood.
Did you know kids who play outdoors have healthier lungs?
Totally.
Did you know that boys that play with dolls make better husbands?
My son has lots of dolls. But did you know terry cloth diapers breathe better?
I did.
It's totally true.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Did you guys know statistically friendly kids have more friends?
Yeah.
That's obvious.
Did you know most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right seat. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to make sure your child is protected.
A full life, measured in seats, starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are the #1 killer of children 1 through 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.
A single ember that escapes from a wildfire can travel more than a mile. That single ember can ignite and destroy your home or even your community. You can't control where the ember will land, only what happens when it does. Get Fire Adapted now at fireadapted.org.
Bartlett is one step closer to becoming a bed and breakfast after a decision made by the Bartlett mayor and his board of aldermen. Bordering neighbors, however, have some concerns. Cedar Hall, located at 3712 Broadway, got approved to become a bed and breakfast that doubles as a wedding venue. The neighbors are concerned that this change will increase noise and traffic in the neighborhood. Markham Bledsoe and his family live directly across from Cedar Hall, and he and his wife spoke at the
well,
meeting.
Well, now that they've
against the
explained a few
bed and
things,
breakfast,
and especially if they can get the egress to go out onto Highway 70, that would solve, I guess, the majority of my issues, especially the safety of my daughter there.
Sudoff brought a traffic engineer to the meeting to ensure that traffic and noise will not be affected. The new owner of Cedar Hall, Denise Sudoff, who also owns Hartwood Hall, plans on adding a garden and formal barn to make suitable wedding venues.
Beyonce expressed her joy over President Obama's re-election by taking aim at Mitt Romney followers. According to MTV News, after the election was called, the singer posted a handwritten message on Tumblr account that read, "Take that, Mitches." The post was later taken down after mixed reactions from fans. Beyonce had been documenting her support for President Obama in the days prior to the election. Last week, she posted pictures of supporting gold earrings with President Obama's name on it. On election eve, she even penned a praise-filled letter to the president, writing that President Obama is the reason her daughter will know she can truly be anything. You can have a chance to stand in the footsteps of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. thanks to the Memphis Museum. Starting on November the 19th, the National Civil Rights Museum on the corner of Butler and Mulberry Street will allow museum visitors access onto the balcony of the Lorraine Motel where Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated 44 years ago. The museum has never allowed balcony access to the public since it opened in 1991. This special access is due to the museum renovations that began last Tuesday and are planned to end next year. Museum visitors and employees are excited
People come
to have
here
the
mainly
opportunity
because
to stand
they
in the
want
very
to see the
place that Dr.
balcony.
Martin
And for them to be able to stand on the balcony in that very spot, it's amazing.
That is it for Insight News. That is it for Insight News this morning. Thank you for joining us.
Have a great night. So, what about that election?
I loved it.
You did?
Yes.
I think it was very exciting to see what states went for who, you know, either Obama or Romney.
Yeah.
But it was very interesting. I love